Alright, I'm getting back with another episode of Dreams of Darkness, the game. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the future of the game and the episodes, and how I'm going to showcase it from now on. In the beginning of the video, I may or may not have shown a bunch of slides of the mountain and basically the hub. Let's go on over there. And on this, I'm just going to talk you through what's going on, what's up. So our hub is over here, located behind the actual game, and this will be all accessible. This will be all part of the game as well. But here it is. So what's going on is I started building a man-made mountain here, block by block, and it's agonizing. And don't make fun of me, and don't judge me. This is going to be my first mountain, and Speedray saw it, and Speedray goes, "That is horrible." Well, it's just the outline of the mountain right now that's going to cover up the hub. And right now, yeah, it's very steppy, I guess. It doesn't look very natural. I started doing some natural stuff in here. But for now, I'm just going to finish off the mountain and go around it, lay it all out. It's going to come down and go out further here before the river. And over here, it's going to hit another range, and I'll turn this into another mountain range that heads more toward the gaming area, or the gaming area that we have now. And as you can see, I have it laid out. That's what the slides were, just showing you how I did this, because there's no way I'm going to record this. And basically what's going to happen now is my recordings are going to be basically just coming in, showing you what I've done, how I did it in some way or another. Let me go back. Take two. What we did here is we put in the ships. If you remember, all the pods, escape pods, were all on the bottom, pretty much. So we raised it up, and all this on the inside is going to be all darkness. As you can see over here, if I put on, let me get this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. See what it is. Get that night vision in there. As you can see, the backside of the mountain, once I get done, is going to be all black concrete. So this is all going to be nice and visible in here. So now here is the Hall of Knowledge. We'll get more into what the Hall of Knowledge is. It's just the other ship that's above it, and you're going to actually come down from here. There's barrier blocks in my way. And you're going to float down with slow falling. And you're going to be able to see all this here in the darkness. It's going to be pretty cool. I tested this out the other night in VR. It's really, really cool. But yeah, you can see the outline of the mountain. I haven't decided whether or not I want to make this a volcano or not. For right now, I'm just kind of getting the shape of the top as a volcano. But I think I want to make this even higher, more above the clouds. It's going to be snow-topped or snow-capped, whatever. And it's going to take me a long time to do this. Like I said, I'm doing this block by block and then actually filling this in block by block. So, and then I need to come in, of course, and fill it in with the darkness. But need to make it look more natural. But like I said, right now I'm just gonna fill it out, get all this all the way around, and then come through and make things like this on it, and plant trees around it, so on and so forth. And then toward the top, decide whether or not I want to make it a volcano or not. It just may be a mountain peak, and if that is the case, then this will be another mountain peak here. So these two mountains will kind of run into each other with two different separate peaks. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go, people. What else did we do over here before I leave? Uh, oh yeah, stay tuned for my next episode for my tutorials. It'll be my 18th tutorial, and it's going to show you the light block, how to use it, what I'm using it here for. So stay tuned for that. That'll come out tomorrow, tomorrow morning, whatever, 24 hours from this video. Yeah, that'll be my next video after this. But like I said, we're just going to continue on because Speedray and I, we work on this. Sometimes he'll come on by himself. Sometimes I'll come on by myself. We'll leave notes. So there's things always being done. And the other way, it was a lot slower because I would record everything I did. So I would sit there for 4 hours one day, record 4 episodes, and then kind of leave it alone. And doing it that way, it was taking forever to get this thing built. Not just this, the whole game area. So as you can remember, last episode, I left you where I was showing you the idea. Make sure I'm going the right way. I left you with the idea of the pit. And let's go over there. We actually started work on that last night. I showed Speedray the mountain. He, like I said, he hated it, but don't judge me. And then we went over to the pit, and I was just showing him the idea for the pit, and we actually did a lot. We actually did the whole maze on the bottom. You can already see the yeah. Let's just look at this first. Now this maze is actually, I did this part of the maze, and Speedray actually stayed after I had left and finished his version of the maze. And it's gonna be a tricky part of the game. But this whole bottom section is only one way to get to here, and he changed the base around, and he raised it up, I think, by a block. Excuse me. He raised the base of the dragon, the put that on captions, by 1 block, and then he redecorated the outside. Down here is actually, here's something we're going to implement in the game. You're going to have a map like this. Let me get rid of that. I think I have a map in here. Let me just grab it so I don't make up so many more maps. The imprisoned path. So now, during the game, as you can see, there's those red lines in there. This is a normal map that you can find. And then, as you can see, there's a bridge. That bridge right there. We'll get more into that in here in a second. You don't see it on this map. It's because I locked it in. So this map will be hidden somewhere. And basically, if you look at this map, it will not show your location. This is not the locked-in version. That's why it's showing my location. And you can see it has the arrows. Or actually, it does. But if I hang it on a wall, it won't. Anyway, you can see the arrows pointing in, which is over here. That yellow arrow down the bottom left there. That's this area. So now, if you find this map is actually going to lead you through the maze. And where the red line goes is the way to make it, or how you make it through the maze, which is pretty neat. He had laid this out, and I guess his trick to making a maze, other than mine, I don't lay out my path. I know where my path is going, but he laid out his path, so I decided, well, I'm going to make a map on there. I'm going to lock that map and keep it. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that as well here in the near future. Show you how to do stuff like that. It's pretty much good for mazes or pretty much anything, map art and stuff like that. But I think most people probably know how to lock a map. It's very simple. It's part of the game, so it's not like some big secret. However, I may just do a tutorial on it to show you how to do it with maps and all that. So let's go over here where we were, and let's talk about, if you can remember when I last left you, I was coming up with ideas for the vertical horizontal maze. And here it is, some of it. Ignore the bridge for now. I'll explain this bridge. This bridge is pretty cool. But say you come down here. This is where you start. You all saw this in the last video I was making. I actually did this a little bit, but you come through here. You'll be like, ooh, the dragon. And of course, we know when we see a dragon, what do we know? We know we're going to see an end stone portal, or an end portal. We know we want to collect 12 of those to later once we find the location where we build our end portal to get to the end, to beat Jarboa, to finish the game. We know we're going to need 12 of those, and here's another one. So we already know that this area is going to be very complex whenever there's a dragon. The easiest one, of course, is, I don't know if we can see it from here because the render distance on the realms, but the Forgotten dragon is right over there. And that one's one of the easiest. I mean, that is going to be the easiest one to get to. This one is going to be more advanced game, even though it's really close to the beginning. I mean, catty corner to the center of Eden, and this one's right here. However, this maze is very different than the other mazes because this maze, of course, is horizontal, vertical, and it's got its path here, just like all these maps here are all basically a maze. This is a maze at the bottom, but to get to the bottom, you have to first complete this maze and figure out this maze. And this maze is going to be really, really tricky. And there's only going to be one way down there, one way to that point. That's it. And there's going to be our very first end portal down here as well, that you actually go to the end. And I'm thinking to make it come out in a mesa biome or an ice spikes biome. Yes, we're going to be in the snow in the winter, which should be pretty fun, pretty cool doing. Anyway, let's say we went down here. Got sidetracked again. Somebody yelled squirrel. So these paths, I decided I'm going to fully decorate them. I'm not going to have them all natural and carved out. These are actually going to be kind of an ant farm. I don't know if I don't know the. Well, when I look at my statistics say most people that watch my videos are 18 to 24. 76% of people who watch my videos are 18 to 24, which probably means 20% are 18 to, which leaves the other 50-something percent, 56% to be probably under the age of 18. So you might not know what an ant farm is. I suggest look it up, but that's what this is going to kind of look like. It's going to have all these little paths and ways to go. This is not probably a good example path here, but this is more of a better example of talking about. You have to think of it as making a maze, or not making a maze. What is it called? Like Mario. Let's say that's a side scroller, or Contra. I'm probably naming names. People have no idea what I'm talking about. Pitfall. There's an old Atari game. But games that are like sliders that as you move, the screen moves with you. But of course, this is going to be in first person. But if somebody's looking at you from the side, it's going to look like that. So there's going to be all sorts of little ladders going up, down, sideways, and you have to find the right path to find your way. Like I said, the entrance is going to be over there to the maze itself, not the entrance, but the exit to this part of the maze. So there's going to be all sorts of ladders. I mean, that you can go up, down. You know, like this one can't go back that way. You can go this way. Oh, here's another ladder. You know, and some are going to go backwards and back down and up and just do some really crazy cool stuff. There'll be treasures in here. There'll be mobs to fight. There'll be all sorts of really cool stuff. Of course, you're going to get your currency in here. I just, wow, I think I'm losing my voice and I just started recording. But yeah, it's really, really, it's going to be, this is going to be fun. It's going to be a pain in the neck to make. Here's another one that if you went this way, this one goes down that way and starts to go back the other way, you know. So it's gonna be one of those tricky mazes. And I had mentioned this before, and it was funny because Speedray mentioned it last night. He goes, that'd be cool if you have multiple player, and then they're going to be able to, someone's going to be able to help you by being on top or staying on top while somebody's down in the maze. And I go, well, I already mentioned that before, but yeah, and that also works against you if you're playing player versus player, because they're going to know where you are. But it's going to be pretty neat just being able to, you know, just see other people trying as hard as you to get down to the bottom, whether you're on the same team or not on the same team. So here's a bridge. Now this bridge is inaccessible. You cannot access this part of the map through this bridge. Why? Because this is part of the catacombs. So if you remember, we first started building the catacombs over when we were doing the monument, and then I showed you an area here. Boop, 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 boop. It's going to drop right down in here, where the catacombs, you're going to be able to get to them via the pyramid, and you're going to be able to get to the pyramid via the catacombs. But man, I'm burping or like silently burping. I have no idea what it is. But yeah, this path is going to lead from the pyramid, It's going to come through here. It's going to be like one of those things that sticks out. Like I said, I really like eye candy. This tunnel is not the same as. Let me go over here. I tried to do this earlier and failed miserably. Let's see. Put some. There we go. So as you can remember, the old catacombs that I was building are right here. What Speedway did was he built his own version of the catacombs. That way we can mix it up and just it's not going to look the same throughout the whole game. The catacombs can be very different. I want to make parts of the catacomb caved in where you'll see the beam on the ground and rubble all around it with dirt. You know, maybe a skeleton laying out. I don't know. But yeah, so you'll end up coming through here. It'll taper down to match this one. Let me just skip across here. And yeah, this is still the catacombs, just a different looking catacombs. You know, it just kind of changed. Which are going to come out here to this bridge, this bridge is really cool. It took me a little bit to come up with the idea or the design to this bridge, but it's pretty neat. You know, making use of those chains again. Love those chains. And if you've ever noticed any of my builds, I like to do realistic builds. Like if you've ever seen any of my videos from before these videos, my bridges and stuff like that, or underground tunnels, or you know, I like to put in beams and everything to make it realistic, engineered wise. And then sometimes I'll come up with fantasy bridges like this, but in a lot of sense, other than the chain being really thin, in a lot of sense, you know, they'll actually be engineered or structurally possible. So these just wrap around. They're just pretty neat things. And I goofed around with this for a little bit until I finally came up with the right design and what I liked. And this is what I came up with, and I liked it. I thought it was cool. So there's just like these big pillars coming out of solid ground, you know, so they could be buried. So they'll probably be twice as long, you know, in the ground there. So this maze right here will have to change a little bit because I added these in after the fact because I was like, oh, I need to suspend this bridge, you know, and then I was like, no, I really need to suspend it, like, you know, coming off the out of the ground, whatever, what have you. Anyway, so you know, you cross this bridge, you can't get off it, you can't get into this part of the maze because there's going to be barrier blocks, so you can't jump off of there. So yeah, so this just goes around the outside, and you can actually jump up there. There'll be a barrier block to block you there. But yeah, you'll be able to see some of this. I may make this step up a little bit better so players can really get a good bird's eye view of what's going on out there. But this is not, like I said, as of right now. Oops, come on now. This is not going to be accessible, you know, to the pit. You know, this will just be one of those cross things. But will be one part of the map that the catacombs cannot take you to. And I think I'm going to put another cross over here, you know, with a little suspension, something. I'll think of something, and maybe run it along this whole way, that way, which I believe is west, and that way you can see it, and you're down here, and it's just pretty neat. Just cool stuff, eye candy, and that's about it for here. I don't. I may make some bridges, smaller bridges, just for fun, with these smaller things. You know, cut corners and all that. That way, it's not so square, and give this whole thing a lot of depth. But like I said, with me locking in that map now, building bridges and all that are not going to affect what's down here. The only thing that I didn't like that Speedway did was he didn't leave any areas for mobs to spawn other than the platform here, but the light level may be too bright for that anyway. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, you know. That's one of those things. If not, I'll have to make mobs spawn where I want them. But yeah, it'll be pretty cool when we get done. They might be able to spawn here, but it might not be enough. But I may have to come in here, switch around the maze a little bit. There's no rest places. There's no real places to, you know, we got to start adding beds, stuff like that, so players can save. And this is not even lit up yet. I'm debating whether or not to light this up. I may not light it up, but I think it's going to look really cool lit up, you know, to where you're down here And this is like, you can just see the side profile of these mazes lit up and everything else. Especially when you're right in the middle of this thing, it's just gonna be like looking around, going, "Whoa!" So it'll be pretty cool. But that's about it for right now. Like I said, the next time you see this, a lot more of this will probably be done. Now, what I plan on doing is I plan on still doing live streaming every Saturday. So if you're into that and you like to see live streaming, I'll probably do that. And I'll probably be building in the live stream or wandering around to different areas looking at things. And at that point in time, you can say, oh, I like this, change this. I want to see what this looks like. Or, hey, put this here. Let's try this. And I will. But for now, I think I'm just going to focus on showing you what I've done or what Speedray and I have done throughout, let's say, the week. Or I don't know how often I'm going to put up videos. They're not going to be daily anymore. But I will continue to put them out. I'll continue to put out some more tutorials. But yeah, we'll see how everything goes. But yeah, if I can keep on track of doing at least an update of what the game's looking like and all that. And like I've always said, guys, you can come out here, you can test this out. It's almost ready for testing as soon as I get that not really the mountain done, just the darkness around those ships done. Then we're actually ready to start testing this. And this part of the game, it'll take you forever. I mean, you'll be still able to go to the pyramid, try to complete the pyramid, try to complete the monument. I haven't worked on the Woodland Mansion yet, but try to complete and get your way to the Forgotten Forest there, or Forbidden, the Forgotten Dragon. Sorry. So there's still a lot to do. For test phase and all that. And then this area, I think I can probably get this done in the next month, I believe. Depending how deep I dive into it. But I really want to make this really a lot of eye candy in this area, so it could take me a lot longer to do. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for now, guys. Hey, remember, you're supporting me. If you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really starting to move up on the algorithm. All my percentages are going through the roof right now. And by the roof, I mean I'm in a little small room, okay? It's not like I've blown up. No, what I'm saying is basically the last 28 days, I've received 23 subscribers in the last 28 days. That's a huge jump. That's almost a subscriber a day. So I'm really starting to propel. We're not talking about 1,000 subscribers a day. We're not talking about whatever, but we're talking about almost a subscriber a day, which is twice or 3 times better than I was doing before. Been doing this for 5 months, and I'm up to 80 subscribers. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there before I get long-winded. But I will see you guys, next video.